I know,
Oh my
no.
god, you're flying!
I knew you could. Nice hit.
Hello and welcome to this read-through of Chapter 7 Part 1 of my book called Activation the Haunted Pain. A huge explosion erupts and hundreds of drop pods drop from the sky. The trail of the Sangheili purple and the human orange flame lights it up. It's like raining stars. The sound of the locked boosters block out all the sounds. Norman and Amanda can't hold back from just watching in awe. Norman then realizes Dale has to move now. He brings up his comms and screams, "Move! Go towards the blown up buildings and use the pods as cover." Dale responds immediately. "Roger that," he says. Dale and the two leads now get out of cover. They spot the hill of rubble where Norman, Amanda and Kel are hidden. They start running. The ground beneath them is shaking like an earthquake. The pod starts to impact in the ground. The impact shakes the ground and makes the troop lose their balance and focus. In Dale's head, everything is happening in slow motion. He keeps running, not knowing if the two elites are keeping up with him. He looks to his right and sees the two pods landing. One lands on a wraith, crushing the vehicle, causing it to explode, killing a few troops around it. The other lands in the middle of a crowd of troops. The doors fly up, crushing a few other troops with its raw speed. Some of the bodies come flying in Dale's direction. He keeps running. More drop pods lands around him. Explosions and smoke fills the battlefield. Dale is having a hard time seeing the hill. Another pod lands right behind him. It's a Covenant pod. The door flies open and out steps an Ultra Elite with 2 gravity hammers. "Keep moving!" It shouts at him and pushes him onward. He has almost reached the hill now. The elite behind him bashes a corrupted elite in the face, launching it into the sky, landing a few meters away. He then keeps on running along with Dale. A corrupted Spartan tries to jump at Dale, but the elite swiftly slides in front of him, tackles the Spartan to the ground and smashes the chest with one hammer while blocking the blow of another corrupted Spartan from behind. Dale rolls over by the elite and continues. The elite grabs the Spartan by his helmet and shoves it into his side, smashing his head with one of the hammers. The air is barely see-through anymore, with all the smoke and the fire. Dale has now made it to the hill of rubble. He looks up and sees Norman, Amanda and Kel standing on top waiting for him. They help him up and get into cover. Kel helps Dale to get some air. He then goes back to meet the other elite. The other elite comes rushing through the crowd of corrupted troops and ODST units. He gets up on the hill and throws the hammer to Kel. "What a glorious day this is, isn't it?" the other elite screams. Kel answers quickly. "It couldn't have been a better, brother." Kel looks up and instantly recognizes the other elite. It's Vor, Kel's brother, who acted bodyguard to Norman during the corruption, but defected to the heretic faction after the events on the last Halo. Both Kel and Vor looks back at their former commander. "It's good to see you, Icarus," Vor says happily. Norman doesn't care about the name Icarus anymore. All he thinks about is how he's going to get to Ghost without his brother getting killed. He looks up at Vor and Kel. "Likewise, Vor," he says and gets up. The battlefield has erupted into a massive close-quarter arena fight. ODST units, Ultra Elites, Spartans and Elites are fighting in the corrupted. Now with a massive amount of drop pods, the numbers are fair again. A group of corrupted people run up the hill of rubble. Vor and Kel both nod to each other and charge as the group. With one swing each, both hammers releases a massive shockwave that sends the corrupted flying back into the crowd. Vor and Kel straighten up and look at each other again. The old days battle have reappeared in their eyes. They grip their hammers and look at another group that comes running up the hill. They both swing their hammers in sync, releasing a cross shockwave at the group, making them smash into each other. Vor then draws his energy sword and stabs the corrupted on top of the pile. The sword goes right through the top guy and punctures the guy below it. Vor pulls his sword out and drops a live plasma grenade on his feet and jumps back into cover. The grenade goes off, causing a big explosion, sending the pile of bodies flying. Vor and Kell look back at each other, satisfied. Another group of elites and ODST units join Vor and Kell. "We need to hold this line at all costs," Kell says to the elite field marshal. The field marshal nods and signals for the rest of his units to join him. He lets out a battle cry, a signal of strength and power. Vor and Kell turns to Norman. They look at each other and then at Norman. "We followed you into battle on that supercarrier that day. Now we ask to follow you into battle again," Kell says with the most serious voice he can muster. Norman gets up, looks at Dale and Amanda. "You're very welcome." Kell and Vor nods at him, and then turns back to face the battlefield. Norman turns to Dale. "Is Bolt okay?" he asks, rather concerned. Dale pulls up Bolt. "Well, I'm just fine, Norman," Bolt responds. The bluish-purple holographic Spartan appears in Dale's hand. "Good to hear," Norman responds. "Do you know what to do, Bolt?" Norman asks as he takes the module Bolt is stored in. "I do, and I do hope it works, as I have calculated that if this fails, we won't get another chance." An explosion goes off behind them as the group of ODST units and elites throw grenades and shoot rockets into the corrupted. Bolt pulls up a map of the city. He highlights the tower and their position. He draws a route from them to the tower. He then flips the map so the tower is viewed from the side. "This is our entrance." He highlights a roof that hasn't been blocked off but has light guarding. "We will make our way from the bottom floor, going through each floor, clearing it out." He then draws another line going from the second floor, then straight up to Ghost's floor where he keeps Rumble captured. Norman and Amanda will go up from the outside using their magnetic boots. Dale will go through the tower floor by floor with Vor and Kell and a group of elites. Norman stops him. "What about Jonathan and James?" Another explosion goes off behind them, but this time it's from a building on the other side of the field from them. Norman spots two very familiar Spartans coming flying through the sky. "Don't you guys dare have fun without us!" Jonathan screams as he and James comes flying, old school drop team alpha style, from the big building above the lab. Jonathan and James land on the other side of the battlefield, smashing down a few corrupted while landing with a ground pound. "We will hold the battlefield with the rest of our friends," James screams. Norman turns back to Bolt. "That answers that question," he says. Bolt giggles a little and continues with his plan. While Dale, Vor and Kell moves through the tower, Ghost will think that Norman is going with them. Amanda cuts him off. "How do you know?" she asks. Bolt looks at her. "Ghost was once part of my program, but managed to break free. I know he would, because I would." Amanda agrees and keeps listening. "We need to have reached the top floor where Ghost and Rumble is. Amanda needs to stay hidden. Only Norman can approach Ghost. Alone." Norman looks at him. "Where will you be?" he asks. "I will go with you, as you need me to kill Ghost." Norman suddenly remembers Josh. Thank you for listening to me reading a little bit haphazardly through Chapter 7, Part 1 of my book called Activation Haunted Pain. If you did not enjoy this, I don't blame you. If you did, then good for you. I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you have a good day, morning, night, evening, whatever time it is. Have a good one.